Hi there. Now, for some reason, a lot of you actually wanted me to make videos. I don't know what I'm doing. I probably shouldn't be doing this. I'm here to educate you guys on how you can go to LARPs cheaply, easily, and time something. I do actually remember it this time. It's about without having to cheap, easy, and not having to use all the time. I remembered it this time. See? I'm improving. The main things I'm going to be focusing on this video will be about cost and how you can LARP cheaply in general. I'll probably go into a bunch of the specific aspects of this video in a lot more detail over the course of, well, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but you'll see it anyway. So yeah, let's get to it. So getting started on the food section. This is a very easy topic. I mean, it really depends on how picky you are, but at Empire, you can find just about anything. You can get food for in-game money and out-of-game money, so barbarian money, which is your pounds sterling. Because there are vendors literally everywhere with pies, tarts, and surprisingly, very few gluten-free cakes, despite them always appearing everywhere, except for when you want to find them. We'll get into that later. There is food everywhere. The issue with the food is that it's not always cheap. It's festival pricing. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be the greatest prices you've ever seen. They're going to be just about what I'd say is reasonable. If you want to get your food cheap, you're going to have to make your food. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to make it there, but if you want it warm, you're going to have to at least heat it up there. The things I did for that is I made a loaf of sourdough bread beforehand, and I hollowed that out at the time to make a stew, which I carried around with me. That was surprisingly delicious. I also made some butter for that bread, which now I think about it was really stupid. But I did get to use that butter for bacon, which I used for breakfast, along with eggs, and a bunch of stuff that I don't even remember. So let's just start stuff. So for food, I'm going to break this down into subcategories. Snacks, warm food, cold food. Now, when I say cold food, I don't necessarily mean it has to be like ice cream cold food. I just mean things that you don't have to warm prepare. Things like sandwiches, you know? Things like an apple, something that you can take along with you. Start off with snacks. Snacks are going to be very useful. I like to bring a few with me onto the battlefield actually, just in case. For me, I just brought a packet of crackers, some cheese, and some red onion chutney, and that makes me sound way too posh. Way too posh. I swear that wasn't expensive. I promise to you that it wasn't as expensive as that sounds. I also brought some biscuits. I also, at the actual event, bought a few pies. Not like cold pies, like just mini circle pies, like mince pie size pies. And a bunch of other trinkets, cakes. I truly could not remember. There's way too much. Those things helped keep me going when I felt like I was tired or stressed, or just when I didn't really want to make something, or if I felt like I was hungry right then at that second. It was something I could easily get and pop in my mouth, and I didn't have to prepare it, I didn't have to do anything with it. I've just got it there. Those are useful for things when you need to be on the go. For example, like I said, on the battlefield, or if I'm just looking around, wandering Empire, and you know, I just don't have the time to stop and or see a person with like a basket full of cake. Seriously, there is food everywhere. When I say food everywhere, I mean food everywhere. You're also good for if you're just impatient like me and you're preparing something that's going to take a while, say stew, because you didn't cut stuff up beforehand as per your advice which you plan on giving in this video. Do as I say, not as I do. It's just really good to have these snacks because it just means you've got something that's there immediately if you feel really hungry and you just need something to help tide you over, even if it's just temporary. So I'd say it's good to have snacks. It's not a fundamental thing, but it's really good to have snacks. The second aspect is obviously hot food. Now, hot food in this case just means anything that's warm. That could be a stew, that could be a warm toasty, that could literally just be like beans on toast. You know, it just has to be something that's been heated up so it's warm. This is very important because at Empire, it can often be very cold. And if you're not eating warm food, you're not going to get that energy that you need. You're going to feel tired, you're going to feel fatigue, and you need to be eating properly, especially at Empire, because let's say you're not running around the battlefield. Even if you're just, let's say, shopping or selling stuff at Empire, selling your handmade cakes, you're still walking a long distance across the Anvil, because Empire, the Anvil area is large. It is not small. It is very, very large. And walking from one place to another, that's going to take a long time. And you're going to be doing this in the heat, and you're going to be wearing your long layers of clothing. It's going to take a lot out of you. So I very much recommend that you at least get some warm meal, at least once a day. If you're planning on making your own food, the best way to get warm food is obviously to heat it up. Why am I saying this? I feel like I should have written something down. This is kind of like, of course, how else are you gonna get warm food if you don't heat it up? I shouldn't be doing this in the morning. I really should wait like till at least after 6 a.m. before I started recording. At the very, very least. Sorry, I'm just thinking, warm food. So the easiest way I'd say to warm up food are using gas stoves or wood-fueled things, such as this by light, which by the way isn't cheap. I only have that because I do camping a lot. But the alternatives for that would be the equivalent of like a general wood stove like this, which a lot of people will have. So if you do have like a house or a other nation version of a house that's not Dawn, this was actually part of my test of metal. Like, it was a fundamental part for me to know. Well, I didn't actually have to find out about it, but it made it a lot easier that I did, and I did actually learn each one of them. Yeah, I don't remember them. This was like a few months ago that I learned all of them, and I don't remember them. Also, you're going to need something to heat it up in, like a pot. These travel pots that you can get are really easy. So if you're planning on using a gas stove, bear in mind you're going to have to use that in the out of character area, simply because obviously it doesn't look in character. If you wanted to use a wood stove, you can get away with that in the in character area, so long as the actual stove itself looks like it's in character. Plus, it feels a lot more immersive to cook that food on that wood fire. It just makes it all a lot more fun. It makes it a lot more entertaining. So, to start off with, food is going to be so obviously warm foods you're going to want, and I'm going to show you in a minute just how you can make a few simple warm foods. I say a few, I mean literally 2. So to start off with, you chop up your carrots and your potatoes or whatever vegetables you want. You're grown up, or at least old enough that you can choose what vegetables go in your stew. You know what, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, my actions in this, but I bought it. It's just pasta, it's just spaghetti, okay? And what you're going to do, sue me? Put me in jail. Put me in... So you want to get your spaghetti up to about half a pinky size. You're going to put your potatoes in, your carrots in, your onion, or whatever vegetables you've used, leeks, celery. I don't know what you want to use. Use whatever you want to use. I've also got some dried chili here. I'm going to put in. If you want to get your own from me and Dawn, just come find me by House Tordesendra's. I'm also going to put some strawberry chili that was given, which I've not tried, so I probably shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, let's just add some, maybe a bit more, a bit more. Okay, maybe that was a bit too much, but we'll manage. And then we're going to add the thyme. Now, just going to carefully sprinkle about half a table. Okay, well, it'll be okay. Lastly, add stock and some water, and then leave it to boil for a few minutes before you go back to salting the other thing, which I forgot to say about dumplings. So you're going to put some flour, probably about half a cup, or something between half a cup and a cup. And then you're going to want to sprinkle about a teaspoon of cinnamon, a tablespoon of sugar. I said those in the wrong order, but you can see in the video anyway. I added a bit more cinnamon after this, but that's purely because I like cinnamon. And you're going to slowly add water to it until it kind of forms a dough. Now, that happened to be the exact amount of water I needed, but that was just because I got lucky. Yeah, so you're just going to keep kneading until it combines into a dough like that consistency. Then you're going to roll those into small balls, slightly smaller than the size of golf balls. You're going to put those in the stew, leave them to boil for about 15-ish minutes, just so everything's cooked. Yeah, that's it. Enjoy these shots of me recording this stuff from various angles, because I probably should have a second. If I had a second hand, I'd use it. This isn't safe to do. Don't record whilst you're cooking the food. It's not easy, okay? It's not easy. I need to get another person to record stuff and edit stuff, but anyway, that'll happen later on if this is watchable. Yep. So stir your pot every so often, just to make sure nothing burns or sticks to the sides. Stir it properly, not with one hand, and make sure you hold the handle so it doesn't spill and burn yourself, like it almost did with me multiple times. Yeah. Like I said, do as I say, not as I do.